Delivery on 30?
Yeah, sign in.
Sure, you mind holding on to that for me? Thanks. That is a bomb. I have just armed it. Don't move. You move, the bomb detonates.
And I'm curious, when you receive a proposition of a show where Kieferem Sutherlandem will be, again, a guy who will be hunted, what is your first thought?
Well, I thought like, ooh, that's going to be a good show. That's going to be a great show. Because I just thought, you know, Kiefer he's such an icon in television and film that I thought, oh, wow, it'll be exciting.
And I'm curious, the first scene that we see in the show, is the first scene you shot or it was in a different order?
You know, the first scene that I shot, it was not the very, very first scene. The where you meet me in the bar is what you're talking about. No, that was a different. Actually, that was supposed to be my first scene, but I got COVID. And I had to leave the set. And I was so scared that I got Kiefer sick, but I didn't. So, because we shot it in the middle of COVID, so it had to be rescheduled, actually.
And when you were reading the script, did they tell you all the mankements of the story, or they keep you in the dark that you'll be surprised like your character was?
Well, once I signed on, I had half of the season. So I had 4 episodes. So I basically knew half of where it was going, but I didn't know where it was going to end. But I did find that the writing was very specific, that I kind of knew the woman I was playing. And so at that point, whatever happened, because it was so many twists and turns, I just, as long as I know the character, then I can just, you know, whatever circumstances happen.
But do you choose such a characters, or it's a lack of chance? Because if I see Hunger Games or Criminal Minds, I can see that you always take those characters that are very complex. They are not so easy to figure out for the viewers.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I guess, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, right? Like sometimes the script or the concept or the story, it just speaks to me. Sometimes if I've done something in a certain vein, maybe that someone says, oh, I could imagine her like this, or, you know, I think having a creative life, it's not just one, you know, it's not so simple. It's not 1 + 1 + 2. I mean, I do think that sometimes it's like divine that something comes to you, that you're meant to play. Just like, you know, when you meet a friend and it's how do you know you're going to click with them? It's just kind of what is sort of what you're training, you know, and mixed with chance.
If we are here with a training, I'm curious, this in the second episode, the scene with the car, is it you there driving, or they give you a stand
It's
up?
me. Let me tell you something. It's me. And I told them I didn't want to do it. Okay. Because they were like, oh, you're going to do a car stunt. I was like, no way. Because I don't want to, I've never, you know, driven cars and done stunts like that. And they're like, don't worry, you're going to be fine. Just put your foot really hard and just drive and then stop. And somehow I did it in one take. I don't know how. But it was so fun. It was so fun. In this show, my character gets to do so many fun movie things that I had a blast.
So what else did you cross off of your bucket list? Driving for a guy, already done it. So what else?
Well, I mean, there's so many. You mean outside of this, or wait? Say the question again. I'm sorry.
What did you cross out of your bucket list during this series? What did you try that you thought you would never do, but you wanted to do?
Well, I got to do Krav Maga, which was great. I went to Krav Maga is an Israeli self-defense martial arts, and I never learned that. So that was pretty wild. I don't want to give the story away, but I got to do a lot of things. Let's just put it that way.
Was there any stunt on this show that you wanted to do, but you were too scared and they say, okay, somebody else will do it?
No.
So everything that we see here is you?
Absolutely.
cool. That's very nice to
Yeah,
hear.
I'm kind of like, you know how Tom Cruise does all his stunts? Little Tom Cruise here. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right. Remember,
Thomasina. You can just call me Thomasina.
remember, he wants to shoot the next Mission Impossible in space. So if you say you're up for everything, look out what you wish for.
Okay. I'll tell him you said that.
And I'm curious, when you're working with Kieferem Sutherlandem, who is, I know, is a very serious guy on the set, but during the takes, I know he's also a joker. Is it easy to not break your character knowing that he's trying to prank you sometimes?
It's more like I'm trying to prank him. No, I think we were pretty, I mean, sometimes we would laugh because the situation was funny. But it was pretty good.
No, because I'm asking because sometimes the dynamic between your two characters is leaning a little bit through to comedy, like when you're throwing some sentences between you, especially in the car in the second episode. I could see that you guys had fun, and I had a little bit suspicion that some of them were improvised.
Aha. Yeah, well, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like playing tennis with a really great tennis player. You know, he just hits it and you just hit it right back. So it's just so fun to go up against him. And we're both trying to win, you know?
So if I would ask you to tell the viewers what Rabbit Hole is about, why should they choose this show, and what is so different between any other on streaming services and in TV, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that this show is really fun to watch, and at the same time, it makes you sort of question the society that we're living in this age of technology, and it kind of maybe might open your mind a little bit, but more than anything, I think it's really just a fun, interesting, where you've got to engage with, you can't sit back. It's not for the audience member who's going to be on their phone. You've got to really pay attention. So I think it has its own voice. I think it's very specific.
So Meta, how far are you in the new technologies? Did the show give you some thoughts that you said, all right, I have to leave my phone further from me because it could be dangerous?
Well, to be honest, I haven't really changed my behavior, but where I have changed my behavior is, you know, when they say, do you accept all the cookies?
Yeah.
I don't accept all the cookies. I take that extra second to turn some of them off.
But do you use often social medias for your purposes?
I do. I use social media, but it's more work related, you know, but I've always been like that. I don't put too much of my personal life online.
No, I'm asking because relating to the show, I remember what Kiefer's character said when you showed him the dating app with his photo, and he's like, "You're crazy! I'm not putting my private
information
on the global website." That's why I'm asking how is it in your life, and after seeing, I don't know how many episodes you already shot. It's the full season?
We finished. We shot the whole season. Yeah.
So what are your predictions? What people will say during the final episode? Will they be so hooked saying like, guys, you have to come back to the set, or they will have to sit a little bit and process what they saw?
Let me consult my crystal ball. Hold on. I'm kidding. You know what? I think that they will be satisfied. I think that this is a show that all of the plot points or all of the questions get answered. So it's not one of those finales where sometimes you're like, the show ends and it was a dream, or wait till next season. No, by the 8th episode, all the questions are answered.